All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Thanks But No One Asked You podcast where storytelling meets unsolicited advice. I'm your host, Britt Hunter, and today we have Edward Jones the second.
Second.
Shout out to you. Ow, ow, ow. And so, first question, do you have a child who's a third?
I do. I do.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
And were you resentful when your dad first made you a junior? Or were you like,
I
this is dope?
I I never ever thought about it. So this is crazy story. My entire life I thought I was junior until I graduated in high school and we were making the graduation stuff. You know how you remember back in the day where
Yeah.
they come and you got to pay for the napkins, all that. They make you pay $800 for stuff you ain't gonna use for 2 hours. So all of it said Edward Jones Jr. and my dad was like, "That's not his name. His name is Edward Jones the second." Then I was like, "Oh." So then I did research me because I'm curious. I'm a nerd. And I
Yeah.
was like, "Well, what's the difference between a junior and a second?"
Please
Oh, it's
tell
actually
me.
yeah. So it actually goes back to English kind of literature or grade, whatever you want to call it, right? The 1400s, whatever, because all the King Edwards, right? But junior is literally junior is literally your son, and the second would be if somebody wants to use a name, but it's not your son. So let's say
Huh.
a king had nothing but daughters, but the king's name was Edward, and they wanted to name their son Edward. They would say Edward the second, because it's the second Edward, but it's not Edward Jr. because the king doesn't have a son. If that makes sense.
It,
Yeah.
it it did, but it didn't. But I feel you.
All right, so here we go. All right, so here we go.
Because I'm like, why would you be naming somebody that's not your son your name?
All right, perfect.
Okay.
So I got two daughters. Let's say I didn't have a son, and
Okay.
if one of my daughters wanted to name their son Edward Jones the third, or Edward, well, I guess they wouldn't say Jones because it's if they wanted. Now I'm confused, but you know what I'm trying to say.
I
Or
get
let's
it
say, all right,
now.
let's
I
you get
think
the
I'm getting
story.
it now. So it's more about a succession.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's where the
Woo.
seconds and yeah. So second really is not technically supposed to be the son of the senior, technically. But I can nerd on that. But in America, we've all, shout out to all the people. It's been a mass increase of people putting it on the back of their jerseys. And there was a story about it, and I nerd out on stuff. So a lot of it was like black athletes first, because it was like, hey, it's my name. But then I'm starting to see athletes who are not as melanated as, or smell like cocoa butter. Well, I guess they could use cocoa butter, so it could smell like cocoa butter. But they're using it as well. So it's pretty interesting that a lot of people are like the second, third, fourth. You're starting to see it more and more.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Welcome to the podcast, everybody.
Yeah, there it is. There it
Editing.
is.
Figure this out. Welcome. All right. This is where we learn. We learn things. I love what I like to call useless trivia information. I take all of it in because you never know. You never know. Okay. We need to join oh man, we need a virtual trivia team. Let's lock in because I see we're both a high I. We talked about this. We talked about this.
Nice.
You are off the apparently, y'all.
Yeah.
Can we call you
Crazy
Eddie?
to me.
Do people call you
Ed
Eddie?
works. I've only been called Eddie twice in my entire life. One by my high school coach my freshman year because we had the same name. And in college, I had some Nigerian friends that called me Eddie.
Very specific. So we're gonna go with Ed. So Ed, by the way, y'all, as many of you have heard me talk about on the disc, I am a high I. For those of you who don't have the chart, it is right here.
Oh, you got the chart. Yeah.
I am a high I. We are high on influence. We talk a lot. And apparently
Too much.
Ed here is off the charts. He has the highest
Ever.
I
Highest I
rating
ever.
in the whole history of disc, which has its drawbacks. And one of those is when talking to another I, we get
It's
off
all day.
topic. We get off topic real quick, early and often. But
Yes.
I'm here because I'm also a high D. Okay, so I will be getting us on track. Let's get started. Oh, hot seat questions.
There we
First
go.
things first, we're gonna open up some just basic questions, get you warmed up. You don't need to warm up though. So you are in Kansas City, and so I have to ask this question. What am I going to ask about? What am I going to ask about?
Something about barbecue. Here we go.
No.
Oh, okay.
Did you not hear the news?
Oh, Taylor and
Yes.
yes, Taylor Swift and Jason. Sorry, Travis Kelsey. Sorry, all the Swifties. My bad, and sorry, Kylie Kelsey.
I don't care.
Travis Kelsey. Okay.
Do you feel like, because I know the conspiracies are about to start, do you feel like the Chiefs are now set to win the Super Bowl to make this fairy tale dream come true?
That's interesting. You mentioned that. I didn't realize how big it is. Like around the city, like all types of people. Like all types of people. And even my daughter didn't want to tell me when I picked her up from school. She's like, Dad, I want to tell you something. I was like, what do you want to tell me? She's like, I don't want to tell you. I was like, what do you want to tell me? She's like, Kelsey and Taylor Swift. I was like, you didn't want to tell me that? But anyway, I think there's two things, right? I do believe this is Travis Kelce's last year. You're making too much money off the field to be getting hit. Let's keep it a buck. And he's 36. I think he's had a back injury. They really have a good looking team. I went and saw him in camp, so I can see it aligning up like that. And you know what's crazy about all this? Now this, all right, go here with me. Go here with me.
Okay, I'm here with
I'm
you.
about to I'm
Lock
about to
in.
nerd
No
out. I'm about
conspiracy
to nerd out.
vibes.
It's about to be a rematch, and I could be wrong. I'll go back and check. But it could be a rematch of the first ever Super Bowl, which was the Chiefs versus the Packers, because now the Packers have Michael Parsons, and now they're immediate Super Bowl contender. So imagine that, and the Packers beat the Chiefs. Imagine the Chiefs versus the Packers rematch of the first Super Bowl. Travis Kelsey,
Oh,
yeah. So
it's money.
yeah,
All I heard
I
was
mean, the NFL is like, now. Of course, they don't care who gets there, right? But all the commercials,
yes, they
all the
do.
like,
Yes, they do. You couldn't
the,
convince me otherwise.
I'm telling you, if it's Chiefs versus Packers in the Super Bowl,
The Chiefs are
oh
going to
my
win
days,
because of where we are today. We doing stuff for likes now.
it's
This
crazy.
there's an argument that's being said that I mean I have friends who coach in the WNBA and they're already talking about kids being drafted, girls being drafted because of their followers. Like we
Absolutely
gonna keep this person because they have more followers, and to me that's crazy.
crazy,
I
crazy.
kind of hate it. I hate it for the sport. So
It's
that
all
leads
money.
me to my next sport question.
Yes,
I have a very big gripe to. I just don't like the instant replay. Okay, I'm all set with it. I want to know what is your take on instant replay, and do you think it's destroying sports?
I think it's used too much. Football. I think we've all kind of got used to it. I think it's still a lot. Basketball, that's weird to me. Like, the fouls, and then like you get to do this for a foul. That is crazy to me. Like, bro, I called you for a foul. It's a foul. Y'all line up, we shoot this free throw. So I'm still getting used to that. That is weird to me. And I think there's something about like it just, you think about sports, right? And you played at a high level. I played at some level. Probably
We
lower,
play
lower,
sport.
lower than. I played sport, right? So you can refs control a game, yes,
Yes,
right, or and they can, but also you're saying this whole entire time nobody's perfect, right? Every coach saying nobody's perfect. Keep going. Well, like if a ref misses a call, like
that's
you don't have to
life.
watch every call. It's life. Like it is what it is. So it's starting to get, even baseball does it. It's just
I
like,
heard.
man, like, you know, I don't know. I have my thoughts, but I get what they're trying to do,
I
but
don't.
also it's the game. It's a game. Games are never like, you know what I'm saying?
That's the game. And I think, yeah, so that's my gripe. My gripe is like, that's part of the game. Part of the game is
Absolutely.
getting things that don't go your way. And quite frankly, if someone's like, oh, the last few seconds, the refs did this, if your game is coming down to the last few seconds, you messed up in
It's
the
on
first
you. Yeah.
quarter.
Absolutely.
You messed up all the way back here.
Absolutely.
Now, if you're telling me the whole game they doing this, that, and the third, I mean, we've all kind of been there. Home court advantage
Absolutely.
matters. Like this is
Absolutely.
sports. This is part of it. My
Yeah.
thing that I don't like that's happening is you can turn on any game. There's probably a WNBA game on tonight. Turn on the game and watch the player's reaction anytime they're called for a foul. I just want to see somebody get called for a foul and go, "That's me," or just walk to the line.
It's that simple.
But they all
Yeah.
I'm like,
No.
every
Yeah.
time the ref blow the whistle, they wrong. Come on, guys.
It's funny because when I used to coach basketball in high school, I would tell my player, "That's a foul. Yeah, that's a good call. That's a foul. You fouled him."
Or just don't
Right?
even talk to ref. That was the rule for me. You were not allowed to talk to the ref. Our coach
Mm,
would sit you down. Don't you talk to that
mm.
ref. That's
You
my
can't do
job.
that in soccer. I found that out in soccer. Soccer, a coach cannot talk to the ref. I did not like that.
Oh,
Yeah, your captain has to talk to him. And I seen captains cuss refs out. I said, and I told the ref one time, I
I'm
said,
okay with
"Look,
that
you know,
too.
I just want to talk to you." He's like, "Nope, your captain has to talk." So the captain went over there and cussed him out. I was just like, "This is crazy."
Better them than you. Okay. So next question. I'm turning 40 tomorrow.
Oh, congratulations! Let's go. Such a
Thank
young
you.
age.
I know, I'm so excited. And a lot has changed about me, including my body and things that I can and cannot eat anymore. As you've gotten older, is there anything that you loved when you were younger for these youngins who don't see this coming that you love that you cannot touch at your old big age now?
We talking about food or?
What you talking about?
I mean, well, okay. So food, let's stick with food. Let's stick
Let's
with food.
stick with food.
So, what did I? It's so tough for me because I want to do it, but I just can't. Like, I didn't realize I'm from Houston, so
Are we going to say at the same time?
I didn't realize how much fried chicken I ate in my life, and I just you just can't eat it as much as, you know what I'm saying? I don't move around as much as I used to, right?
Okay.
And so like it's a once in a month. Like I look at Instagram videos of people making fried chicken, and I'm like, man, that look good.
Once a month, you're having fried chicken. That's it.
I can't even. I haven't done one once a month. It's been maybe 3 times a year. That's
Wow.
it. And then ice cream. I used to in college. What?
Mm.
What? Oh, 3 times a week. I can't do it.
Okay, that's
My
crazy.
stomach could be doing the bachata in this bad boy if I try to,
Ding, 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 ding,
Hey, I knew you
ding,
knew it.
ding. I've offended somebody just now. I'm gonna stop. Okay, fried chicken. So
What about you?
I did this thread question the other day that no one responded to. It's fine. I'm not worried about it. I'm not sad or remembering it. It was about like, hey, listen, y'all, whether you like drums, whether you like flats, about how many chickens' lives are you responsible for? Because it's only two wings per bird.
That's crazy when you think about it.
How many chickens' lives are you responsible for?
Crazy when you think about it. Especially,
The number is in the millions, if not billions, for some
oh,
people. It's in the millions for
absolutely.
me, for sure. I eat
You know,
chicken wing. I had chicken wings last night at a meeting,
love me some chicken
and
wings
I
too.
only like flats.
That's sad.
Yeah, we
That's
really
sad.
need to do better.
So you can't
Um,
even get the full bird. Like he just, all right, here we go. Or the
I
bird.
know, just take the legs off, the arms off. So I can't do dairy anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah,
Apparently,
that's a big one.
apparently, like 70% of Black people are actually what I like to
Yep,
call
lactose.
lactose intolerant.
Oh, I like that one.
Or
Boom.
lactose intolerant. Yes, I am lactose intolerant. So yeah, it just is what it is.
Damn, you can't
Um,
do the A2?
I need to check something because you know what's crazy?
What's that?
No, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I was checking to see my microphone was the right setup. Okay, go ahead.
Have you tried A2 milk? Have you heard of A2
No,
milk? So, all right, now we are 70% are lactose, and I just don't like dairy as I get older. I don't.
it's a
Anyway,
little thick.
I like butter. I do like butter, especially
Mm.
Kerrygold. Kerrygold is good. But A2 milk is a better. So A2 is a protein that certain cows have that's better for us to digest.
Okay, okay,
So I leave that there. A2 milk. It have like
okay.
A2.
I don't trust anybody's labels today.
And that's very true.
I'm gonna be
That's
honest with
fair.
you, because
That's fair.
they say anything now. They're like A2 adjacent, and then the
Yeah.
adjacent be real small in the corner. Here you are drinking lactose milk, dying on the inside. Yeah, I'm all set. Okay. We've gotten through the hot seat. We've gotten all the important information out the way. Let's talk about real life things. All right. So recently, you had an amazing journey. You got to go visit down at Duke. You got to do
Yeah.
some amazing
Your old
work.
stomping grounds. I didn't realize that till we got off
It's
the
my
phone.
old stomping grounds. Yeah. And so for people who don't know, because I don't do intros, I just let people walk into what they walking into and I clip it up later. But myself and Ed were in the same line of work. He's been doing it for way longer than I have, but we are in a player development space. We come at it from a few different angles, but at the end of the day, former athletes trying to work with current athletes. And it is a very crowded space. However,
Yes.
what I have noticed is you've been able to build a momentum based off relationships. So I'm going to use my example and I want to know if it's a similar type of thing. I recently did a talk with the Jacksonville Jaguars staff, and people are kind of like, "Oh my, how'd you get that?" People assume because I played
Mm.
at Duke that like stuff just happens for me, and I'm like,
Mm.
that's not how that happened."
Right.
What had happened was 2 years ago, 2 years ago, I did a free gig with ESPN Black Sports Symposium. I put my name in the hat, put out a talk. I had never done this talk before, and I was like, let's just see. I got the yes. Standing room only. Did not anticipate that happening
Let's
either.
go.
And it just so happened that somebody from the Jacksonville Jaguar staff was there. She saw me. We talked. She found me at the happy hour. Was like, "Yo, I need you to come talk to my staff." But that talk didn't happen for 2 full years because the timing wasn't right. The HR department wasn't in alignment with what was going on. They didn't have the budget. Block after block after block, but I consistently stayed in contact and checked in. Even if it wasn't to say, "Hey, I'm ready for the gig," but just to be like, "Hey, I saw you did this on LinkedIn. What's going on?" Either way, I'm always trying to talk to people about the power of relationships, and it's not because I want to get something out of it, but just what happens from having good relationships. Can you talk to me about your relationship with the guy from Duke and how all this came to
Yeah.
be?
Absolutely. Before I do that, I want to say Duval. Sorry, it's the head coach. So they say Duval. The head coach said it wrong in his press conference. He's like Duval for the Jags. Anyway,
Oh.
so it's interesting. It's interesting you mentioned that because the relationship with the talk you talked about 2 years. That talk with Duke was built over 3 years. So
Mm.
I met John Battle when he was with the Buccaneers because the director of player engagement for the Buccaneers was like, hey, we got this guy. He's interested in player development, but you communicated better than anybody. So I met him. Then when I went to Miami for a job I had, his Dr. Sherelle Jackson, I believe, Miami was like, "Hey, Ed Jones." He's like, "Ed Jones coming here." So then he met me in person, showed me all this stuff, purchased the ebook. He's like, "Hey, I built this program." I was like, "Sweet." Then he went back to my alma mater, University of Houston. He's like, "I'm gonna get you in at some point." I'm like, "All right, I've heard that before, right?" Boom, 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 boom. He gets the job at Duke. He's like, "Man, we were talking randomly. I'm just talking to him." He's like, "Ed, you public speak?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, and I'm thinking because I podcast, people would think, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I
You
public
got to
speak.
spell it
But
out.
yeah, I've learned that. I've had to say that, right? So anyway, he's like, "I'm gonna bring you in." I'm like, "Cool." Whenever it happens, it happens. So he like randomly hit me up. We were talking on the phone, and I was like, "Yeah, man, I gotta get you in for the pod." And he was like, "Yeah, man, we gotta do it in person." So I was like, "Bert?" He's like, "Yeah, can you come speak?" So it's interesting you mentioned that because that took 3 years of building relationships. Like he knew me because he learned about the role. He bought the book. I then met with him about the role. I mentored him in some stuff at Houston. Then we got a job at Duke, mentored him, and then he finally was able to create a space for me to come speak to the players. But that took time. I think like what you said, people were just like, "Oh, Ed, you got the podcast," and people are lined up to bring you in their program.
Now, what
They are
happened?
not. They are not. That is, I have not experienced that. And if you want to, I am here, but they are not.
And I blame, you know what? And I want to blame social media, but I don't think it's really,
Absolutely.
I think social media is exacerbating it. But I think everyone has always had this idea that things happen for other people. It's this victor victim
Yeah.
mindset. And I
Yeah.
think social media has just kind of blown it out of the water. It's
Absolutely.
like, I hate that for everybody, honestly. When I go on social media, I'm usually reposting quotes that are like, Monday sucked, Tuesday sucked, Wednesday sucked, Thursday was cool, Friday sucked, Saturday sucked.
Right.
Because a lot of times your weeks are so like you have to get yourself out of bed. You have to
Absolutely.
cold call. You have to send the email. You have
Yeah.
to follow up. You have to follow up
Yeah.
when they're ignoring you. You have to get your mindset to a place where no is not no, it's not right now. And that takes a daily practice, and you really need to be centered in yourself. And so, I just appreciate you being candid and sharing what you're doing now. You're sharing your story on LinkedIn, which is important. I need people to see. If you're not following Edward Jones II, not Junior, that's a tagline. Edward Jones II, not Junior. If you're not following him on LinkedIn, follow him. His content is great. He's actually giving
Appreciate
practical tips. I'm following it. I'm not about to replicate it. I ain't got the bandwidth. Um,
it.
but it
Give
is,
me.
but I'm aspiring to do it because I like that your posts are tangible. I can take it with me, but I'm also watching you do it. So I can't later say, oh, it just happened for him and I'm a victim. It's like, no, he put in the work. You watched him put in the work. You can do this too. And you're putting yourself out there, which I think people don't want to do until they've made it. You got to
Yeah.
do that now. So
Yeah.
shout
I
out to you,
appreciate that.
man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
I received that shout out.
So let's go back to talking about how this is a crowded space. I like to think I'm special because I'm a female. And I'm like, you know what? I don't see too many females in the space. So I feel special, but that's just, I don't know what I don't know either. And I think it's really important to be different, be a
Yeah.
differentiator. My differentiation is my story. I think my story is just a unique story. Um, Everyone's story is unique. But what would you say is your differentiator when an AD or head coach is looking for services?
Yeah. The differentiator for me has always been customization.
Okay.
So I lead everything you see and everything you talk about on LinkedIn. I always lead with, "Hey, this worked for me." But even when people are in my cohort, I'm coaching people. I'm like, "Look, I'm going to give you frameworks, but you have to do what's best for the athletes you serve." There
Hmm.
was a quote that Nick Saban said after they won the national championship. They had a really good team. I think they won it back to back. And he's like, "Are you ready to come back with next year's team?" He's like, "I don't know who next year's team is. Like, I don't I don't know who they are. We haven't been through anything. Yeah, these guys are coming back, but this is a different player, right?"
Mm.
And so for athletic directors, how do I say this? I come with customization because a lot of people I can't let my experiences over prioritize what's needed now. And so I see that happen a lot with
Yep.
former players, specifically former players at a high level. They get in a role and they can't get out of this was my path, and they put it on these players. It's like I don't need your path. I need lessons from that to help me. And so for me, it would be the customization because I created a platform just to start. I didn't know what I was doing, but
Yeah.
and to your point, like, or to the earlier point, is like, yeah, this is the framework, but every one of those 6 teams I had was a different team.
Yes.
And now it's way different because of how transient rosters are. So that's what, if AD's like, hey, we need to create something, I would always say, I would meet with them each year. All right, so what are we doing this year? What does the team look like
Mhm.
this year? So customization.
Okay. That's actually a great segue though, because my next question was actually about like a learning, and you said it. One of the biggest learnings that I had working in education was one was that my every classroom is not the same. So I taught fourth grade.
Absolutely.
For people who don't know, I did not go to school for education. I fell into it. I fell into the classroom because I had to take over a classroom. These kids was wilding. Um, they got like they went through 5 teachers in 4 months, and I was the vice principal at the time. And I just kind of called my boss and I was like, listen, I'm taking over this classroom. I can't deal with not one more parent
Yeah.
conversation, one more suspension. I'm just going to do it. She was like, you've never taught before. I was like, I'll figure it out. And I ended up staying in the classroom for 4 more years. But one of the times I was teaching and she walked by my classroom and I was teaching and she walked by and she looked in and gave me that look. And I was like, okay. And then she walked on and then she came back and she looked in the classroom and I continued teaching, but I'm looking at her like, what's going on? And she kept going. And then she came back a third time and stared at me and was like, let me talk to you. Let me holler at you. And I was like, hey, what's going on? She's like, yeah, how come every time I pass your classroom, you're talking? And I was like, because I'm teaching? Like, where are we going with this? She was like, how can you be teaching and you doing all the talking? How can you know what your students know if you're the only one talking? You're going to find out what your students know on that test, and by then it's too late. Your students should be driving the conversation. And it's like one of those aha moments that I was bitter. It was so, oh, it was very humbling to hear that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I took it to heart and recognized in myself, I don't like when people talk at me. I don't like it. So why am I doing it? Because it's what we know. And so I've taken that approach, and anytime I do a keynote, I let people know this is going to be interactive. They're not going to just be sitting there because there's more knowledge in the room. So, what is a lesson that you have learned in doing these speaking engagements that you need other speakers to maybe adopt?
Come on, you segue to my answer. So I was in the classroom for 6 years as a high school coach, and I always say this. I always say it wrong, but you're gonna understand it. I think it's differentiated instruction. That's the term. So that was a big term for us. They were like, hey, you got auditory learners, you got visual learners, you got
Mm,
kinesthetic learners, you got all this, right? And so when I'm doing these speeches, so like I'll break down Duke for instance. Big deal is I come out, I'm gonna, hey guys, this is what you know, we're going to talk about networking, right? Well, what is a net? What's networking? So I'll show a big picture of a fisherman with a net, right? Is he going to get all the fish? No, right? But is he going to get some fish? Yes. Okay, as he brings in the net, he has to work the net. Going back to what you said, the following up, this part I'm learning. Like, right? It's not good to just have the fish. You got to work the net. You got to get the fish. You got to
mhm.
get him to where you want to get him, right? So then we do that. Then I start talking about the elevator pitch. I bring up a couple guys, and they're like, "Oh, okay, cool." Now I'm like, "All right, everybody pair up." So now you got kinesthetic, you got all this going on. So it's like you said, it's not just to sit here and be still because I want to learn. What did you learn about this? When I cut this town, what did it do? What did this do? What did you think about this? What do you think about this? Then I'm like, hey, look at all these alumni. Is anybody from this city, right? So then they start, I'm like, who from Charlotte? They like, yeah, who from New York? Oh, New York, right? And so when I do these speeches, and this is what I learned from watching people when, at programs, because coaches are going to want to get the $50,000 speaker, and some of them, yeah,
They
well, there
robbing
aren't,
people. They out here
right.
robbing people. I'll say it for you.
They robbing. Yeah, they robbing
$50,000
people.
speakers are oftentimes robbing you.
Robin.
But I'm
Now there was one we paid a lot of money for that shocked me. He was elite, and I did not see that one coming.
nice.
And so I took some stuff that he did. But for me, it's always the education piece, right? If I want you to learn, I got to get you to learn. I got to get you to talk to that other, whatever. When I was at Duke, I said, "Where the freshmen at? Nah, y'all come on up here, right? Y'all not about to sit here. I'm afraid, right?"
Yeah.
And so, like, it's just an engagement, making it a community of learning. So,
Yeah. Absolutely. Big learning. And it's important to learn too. I think I had this conversation with somebody who was like very modest. She was like, "Well, I'm not." She's a financial advisor. She's like, "Well, I'm not really an expert." I was like, "No, you are an expert. You're an expert
Absolutely.
because you keep learning.
Yeah.
You keep being curious about your craft." I'm not good to call somebody an expert who, did all the work and now plays golf all day and then goes does a talk. I personally don't really want to hear that person talk because they're saying the same talk they've been doing for years.
Absolutely.
I want to
Absolutely.
I want to hear from the person that has their talk, but they went and listened to another talk and they learning this and they learning that. Like I want to be around somebody who's constantly learning. So yeah, I think being an expert is like constantly learning, constantly adjusting, constantly
Absolutely.
hearing other people do it better than you. So good for
So
you.
I love you mentioned that constantly learning. The biggest decision I had to make in probably my career that really skyrocketed everything was I'm at this high school. I'm comfortable. I'm feeling good. Like we lost. Like we
Oh,
my birthday was the last game of the year. We lost 77-0. So I'm trying to avoid the principal because I'm like, man, I'm about to get fired. I'm just a freshman coach, right? So I'm just trying to make it. So I'm 23. So I'm walking to the teacher box, right? I'm grabbing my stuff, and I hear the principal coming. So I try and do like a quick dip and dive, and she's like, Jones, and I was, oh, hey, how you
oh
doing?
no.
So she comes over, she's like, hey, yeah, the season didn't end how we wanted. We went 0-10. She's like, but we really want you around. You want to sign your contract for next year? I was like, we're right now, right? So it was a great place. I really enjoyed the people. I enjoyed the students. I was really growing. But when I was coaching, I looked at all the coaches I went to, and I would go to the in services. I would go to the conference. I would go do the professional development. And I looked around, and the coaches I was with never went to professional development, and they were always hanging on to this great team they had 8 years ago.
Yes,
And
Lord
I
have
was just
mercy.
like, and I remember thinking to myself, we're not going to win here. We're not going to win here. I'm comfortable. But if I get here, I'll be like these guys. And I'll be like, man,
Mm,
remember that one team we had? And so I made a decision and I left. And the principal, she was mad. We were good now. Shout out to her. But she was mad, but I couldn't tell her. I was just like, I can't sit here. And it was the best decision I made. Best
yeah,
decision I made. Because my parents raised me to be a lifelong learner. Like I saw my parents literally learn. I saw my dad take a broker's test like in his 50s, like
I
study
know
for a
that's
test. Like
right.
seeing your dad study in his 50s is like
Yeah,
crazy, right? So yeah.
that's amazing. That's incredible. Just saw an article about that, about how like, maybe it was another motivational speaker, but was talking about don't promise your staff and employees raises, promise them growth, like actual growth. Because a lot of people are actually driven by purpose even if they don't know it in that moment.
Absolutely.
They are actually driven by purpose, and it's that Maslow's hierarchy, right? And
Yeah.
you're very early on in part of your years, and I'm glad I kind of flipped mine. My hierarchy flipped for me at a young age, and very early on parts of your years, for anyone who's young, under 25, I would say, is usually looking to make a bag. That's all they focus on. I want money. I need this money. I need this money. I want a house.
Right.
I want a car. Right. And it's all those things at the very bottom part of Maslow's hierarchy. You want shelter, you need food, safety, basic stuff. Right. But then when you get to the top of the triangle, you should be looking for what is its purpose, it's self-actualization.
Yep.
Now what's supposed to happen is you're supposed to get through all those phases and end up here. I actually flipped mine and was like, no, I'll just be broke and just work in education
Mm,
and find my purpose and find my voice. And what happens is you end up getting to the money anyway.
absolutely.
And so I think finding your purpose and staying with people who are constantly going to push you, constantly going to grow, actually ends up better for you because you're not clamoring in your older age when you have less agility because you got
Absolutely.
kids and family and
Yes.
responsibilities or a dog or a house or a mortgage, whatever, you have less responsibilities. You can actually free flowingly think about what you want to do without panicking and feeling like you're having a midlife crisis. But don't get me started. Anyway, okay. So my next question is actually we're down to this or that, which is my
Ooh.
favorite part of the segment. So I do a lot of unsolicited advice. And unsolicited advice is, of course, advice that y'all didn't ask me for.
Hey.
You didn't ask me, you didn't raise a hand, you didn't even talk about this topic, but I'm talking about it because it needs to happen. So today you have that opportunity. I'm going to give you two different audiences, and you're going to have a moment to just give one audience unsolicited, unfiltered advice. So if it's on your shoulder, you're like, I got to get
Ooh.
this off my back.
it off.
It's your time. Okay. High school coaches
Ooh,
or
yes.
parents of high school athletes.
Ah. um.
Okay, let's talk to him. Talk to him. Be honest.
Here we go. Coaches, you all are worried about preparing your athletes for college scholarships. You want to sign in day and all that. But I want to remind you, you have a program of multiple athletes,
Mm.
multiple, who will not sniff college, who will not play past your team. And you have a impressionable athlete that you can pour into the life of. And they may go trade school, they may be already be entrepreneur. It's a different time, right? They may go to college and not want to play anymore. But what are you doing to help those athletes? Are we just wanting to put pictures on the wall of so and so who's playing here, there, or wherever? Or do you
Hmm.
want to have a wall of look at this team, this entire team? Everybody graduated high school, they're all doing something, they're doing this person's doing this, they're doing that as well. And so coaches, I don't want y'all to underestimate how much you can be accelerator to the goals your athletes want on the in competition or outside of competition. Now I'm talking specifically outside. So coaches, you got a lot to play. It ain't these athletes these days. No, the coaches these days. Ooh, that one hurts, but it is real. It is real. And so you have a great opportunity to change the perspective and change the destinies or influence, I should probably say, is a better word, the destinies of your athletes. There it is.
I love
Boom.
that. That was so good.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
I
I love
appreciate it.
that. That is actually a very big part of, I don't even know if it's a selling point, but it is something I'm adamant about. If I end up talking to an AD and I say, hey, I want to do this, that, or the third workshop, and they always kind of say the revenue generating sports, oh, well, football would love this. You should call women's basketball. And I'm like, hold up.
Yep.
Let me tell you right now, if I go through my LinkedIn right now, everybody that's in a C-suite that was a former athlete more than likely played golf, lacrosse, soccer. They played the Olympic sports, the swimmers. They are in the C-suite, friend.
Equestrian. I was at Baylor. We had equestrian, right?
They in the C-suite. If anything, you need to be bringing your revenue generating sports along with your Olympic sports because their mindset is different. So why would I go talk to this group over here? No, 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 no. I'm going to talk to, I want to talk to everybody. But if I had to choose, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know if I'm going to revenue generating sports right away. It's a lot of people with their hands out to them.
Yep.
They're not really in the headspace to hear what I'm
Absolutely.
saying right now. It'll click later. But if I really had the opportunity to pour into somebody and they say, Bet, tell me what's next, it's gonna be that group over here.
I fully agree.
Like, and people don't understand that. They're like, well, you play basketball at UConn. Wouldn't you wanna da 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 da? I'm like, you're thinking about money.
Yep.
I'm thinking about impact.
Correct.
So
And
no.
influence.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I want a
it's
tribe of people that get it done because that's going to increase my ecosystem. That's what I'm thinking long term.
you know what's interesting about that? Now that you mention it, whenever I was asked in the space at Houston, Kansas, or Baylor, and the people who understood what I did without me having to tell them what I did was the Olympic sports athletes, and they would have conversations with me and said, "We wish we had somebody like that," or "What do you think about this?" And so
Yeah.
people would be like, How do you know so and so who's swimming and diving? Because so and so realized what I'm. Yeah, so I'm with you on that. That's the cheat code. It looked
You
good,
go.
like you said. It looked good to go to revenue generating women's basketball,
Yeah.
football, men's basketball. Some places, not all,
But I
but
was in that space. I know what time it
yeah,
is. I
yeah, me
was on the
too.
team. My friends were on the football team. My friends were on the basketball team. It's not that they are not listening. It's just not they're not locked in the same way.
At at this time of their life, they're not.
They're just
Yep.
not locked in the same way. And if I wanted to go further, and if I want somebody to be a beacon and shepherd of my message, it's going to be this group right over here that nobody's talking to. So anybody that had any athletic director that's like, I got a
Come
golf
on, y'all.
team, we got an equestrian team, we right here.
Yeah.
Okay, we ready to pour into your students. D2, D3, NAIA. I
That's the
don't care.
one. See, that's the one. Somebody told me, and shout out, he was the commissioner, and I just missed because he got another job. I'll get the whole
Oh
conference.
no.
But he told me that. And I'll never forget, he said, hey, do not miss out on D3. He said they don't get scholarships, but them schools got endowments out the wazoo.
But also, here's the thing too. What I've just learned. being an alum and people finding me and they'll go, "Oh, you played sports, da da da. We're so excited." I played men's volleyball, but it was D3 and it wasn't, I said, "Hold up.
Time out.
Look,
Let me get a
I'm
second,
sorry.
Tony. Let me get 30 seconds.
I'm sorry. So you went to school
Yeah.
and you and you did a sport without a scholarship? There's so many D1 athletes. If you took away their scholarship, they would not be doing their sport.
Hey, no, absolutely
They
not.
would not be doing their sport. They would not be getting up and committing the time and committing the energy.
Absolutely.
So, for them, they're like, yeah, but it wasn't on your level. I said, enough. I don't care what level. It was on a level where you were balancing school and your sport, and you had to show up for your team. You had to balance a lot, and you did that without getting paid in any form. So, respect to you. Shout out to you. I respect those people highly, and I don't think they believe me when I say it, but whatever.
Yeah.
They'll get it one day.
I love that you're saying that because my whole mindset has shifted in the last year because there's something else, and I didn't want to go here,
Go ahead,
but
high eye.
with these high programs, so a lot of these programs I know, right, college football programs, I'm like, man, I think, and I was thinking when I started this business consulting, they got the budget because I know we would bring people in, but it's like, how do I feel if I just, if you're just a check mark, like, all right, we got the budget, you came and you spoke, I'm trying to, hey, well, what else are we gonna do? You're good, you got your money, all right, cool. So I'm changing my mindset. Like that's why I'm really like, yeah, I'm changing my mindset. I'm loquacious. So.
Okay, loquacious. We love that word. Okay.
SAT word. 10th grade. I was the example. Yep.
Ooh, okay.
Miss LaFleur. Shout out.
We all know that one teacher. All right. Another this or that challenge. I would like for you to give unsolicited advice to the starter on a team or the last person on the bench.
Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good one. This is a good one.
I know you want to give it to both, but you can only
I
do
know I can pick
one.
one. I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna pick one because I think it'll pack both. I'm gonna go with the starter. I'm
Okay.
gonna go with the starter. Dear starter, no. I think because I think back to when I started, like it was always you're a sum of everybody. Like I'm starting because I know this, but I know if we're all together. But for the starters who are out there, you are. I don't want to use the word responsible, but there are a lot of people looking up to you, and you have the opportunity to do a lot of things that a lot of people want to do, and so don't take it. It could be taken away in a minute, in a second, right? And so enjoy that you are a starter on a team. Enjoy your teammates. Make sure that your backup is prepared. Make sure that the last person on the bench understands what they're doing because you have the opportunity to have that influence. As a starter, when I was a starter, it wasn't like when we came off, the ones came off. I wasn't just like, all right, checked out. I'm looking at the twos, like, hey, y'all gotta. If I sprain my ankle, you gotta play, right? So
Hmm.
I think there's some leadership aspects there. I think starters need to set the standard and need to hold people to the standard but also being approachable by teammates, and because you never know when that last person on the bench is going to be the person to hire you, possibly.
Ooh. So you thinking 10 years down the line. We can't count that far yet.
Can't count. Cats can't even do 10 minutes.
Listen. Okay. Last one. Athletic director or head coach?
Oh, all right. That's tough. These are good. You're really good, and
Thank
I'm a
you.
high eye. Eyes want to do both. All right, so I'm gonna go athletic director because I
Okay.
already talked to coaches, so it kind of. Dear athletic director, hello. No, athletic directors. I know you all are under pressure. You all have to make sure you're getting paid, and maybe you felt like you wanted to get into this to impact athletes, and now it's more business and it's more revenue sharing. It's boosters. It's this. It's that. Don't forget the foundation. Don't forget that you have a job because there are student athletes there. If you're at the college level, at your high school level, you got student athletes. You have a job because there are young men, women, adults, people that are athletes there. So don't forget that. Don't forget that. Yeah, you signed up for it. It is what it is. It's part of your responsibility. But don't forget that you have athletes there, and you are responsible for the entire athletic department and people's experiences, staff included, athletes, everyone are based off you. So don't forget the foundation. Don't forget to treat people well and want to do what's best for people. And even in your hard conversations and the hard things you have to do and the cutbacks, set up lanes for people. If you have to release someone, make sure, hey, here's a letter of recommendation. Here's this. Understand things have to happen. It's a new reality. But I just want to say, don't forget people. Don't forget people are people. People have emotions. People have fears, and people are looking up to you. You're responsible. That's what you signed up for. You're responsible for everybody that walks in and out of that building.
Mm. Mic drop. All I heard was you, get it together, you. Heavy as the head that wears the crown.
And they got help. They got people that want to help them. You know what I'm
You got to
saying?
delegate.
The Britt Hunters of the world. You know, like it's okay.
I'm out here.
Also, athletic directors. You got external people.
You do. It's about delegation. It's also, but I think to your point, like keep the main thing the main thing. It's real easy. It's a lot of hands out here now. Mine included. My hand is out here now. But
And sliding.
keep the main thing. And that's good advice, I think, to anybody running any organization, because I coach clients who are not related to athletics at all. And working with the team right now, I talk about them a lot because the guy who owns the company is my teammate. My teammate. He's my classmate from business school, and he owns a car leasing company in Panama. And car leasing is not a thing. It's not, that's a new concept for them. They don't do it. So he's having to educate, blah, blah, blah. So he wears many hats. He is the CEO. He's really hands on in the sales part. But even in coaching him, I'm kind of like, all right, you're doing 15 things. Let's do like 3 things really well. Keep the main thing the main thing. The other things will pan out. It's not a 1-year plan. Should be a 3 to 5-year plan. I'm sure you have a contract. So really strategy wise, I don't know if ADs have strategy partners, but you should have a 3 to 5 year strategy plan like any company does, especially at this point with all this money being exchanged. You need to have an understanding of which coaches are kind of in the way, which staffs really aren't healthy, which ones are really actually going to take you 3 to 5 years to get through, and which ones are actually crushing it right now that you need to be investing more time and energy into. So don't get me started, but clearly I'm already here.
You are there off the top rope with that one.
Listen, you got to have a strategy, a 3 to 5 year
Got to.
strategy. You can't solve all your problems in year one. And that's any business, but that's definitely athletic directors. And I don't know if they're thinking about things like that. So that's why we're here. Anyway, okay, we've talked about a lot of things. We covered a lot of stuff. These are some great sound bites. I'm excited for this one to drop. Um, Before we go, is there anything, this is your opportunity to talk about your podcast, your page, your services. What do you want the good people to know before we wrap up?
Yeah. So thank you all for being here. Britt, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Ed Jones. Beyond the Field is where we're at. You can find us on. I'm really, really active on LinkedIn and super active on YouTube. There's a lot of videos, over 250 videos to help your program. You could also get your copy of the player development guide. There it is, right
Hey.
there. And then the services I help with program evaluation, just really any athletic director, coach, youth, all the way up to whatever that really, really wants to make an impact in the lives of athletes. We develop people and elevate programs. So we are here to do that. Yeah.
Not the radio voice.
Marco Spoon. That's the guy in Houston. In Houston.
Oh, geez. All right, bet. Well,
Thanks,
thank
man.
y'all so much for tuning in to the Thanks But No One Asked You podcast. Stay tuned next week for my next guest. But in the meantime, please follow Edward Jones the second, not junior, on all social media platforms, and reach out to him for some services. Holla.
Yeah, I'm here.